So I love starting dragon fruit cactuses. They are so super simple to get started. There's actually 3 different methods. I'm going to show you all 3, and then I'm going to highlight which one I like the best because one is far easier than all of them. But basically, a dragon fruit is a beautiful sweet fruit that grows on a cactus that's very easily started from seed. And inside the fruit is all the seed you will need in order to start your own cactus. You can get these from Walmart or the grocery store. They're not cheap. This guy was about, I think he was $5 just for him. So whether he's a him or a her, I don't know. But nonetheless, it's about $5. So it's not a cheap piece of fruit, but hey, if you can grow your own, that's the way to go. Here's an example of what you'll be growing as the seeds actually start to develop. These guys are about a year old. This one here is probably slightly older than all the rest. These were part of a secondary trial in here. Okay, let's cut into this bad boy. Let's check it out. If you've never seen a dragon fruit from the inside, we're going to take a look and I'm going to show you what it looks like. Okay, this is the inside of the dragon fruit. Gorgeous on the inside and very sweet. As you can see, the seeds are very easy to spot. Method number 1 is probably my go-to method for tomatoes as well. This is how I will do tomatoes. This is when I want to control the seeds. So I want to be able to dry them and put them into a little baggie or control how many I have, but I will use just a tiny, this is like a Pampered Chef tiny knife, and I'll just kind of dig them out, put them on the paper towel, wipe them off, and I'll do that for as many seeds as I really want. And after a while, you get good at it. Or you get 2 at once, like that. You can see you don't really need a lot of seeds because it's not hard to get them. So that's method number 1. Simply let them dry. Once they're dry, you're able to plant right away or put them in a package. So method number 2 is probably the one I've most commonly seen on YouTube, but I've basically just taken out a chunk of the meat and put it into a strainer. Then I'm going to use a spoon and squish the fruit away from the seeds and rinse that off. So this one is definitely not my favorite method. The seeds don't actually come out overly clean. That might be a problem with my strainer and not so much with the process, but it's also a lot more work than all of the other methods for kind of a result that still the seeds need to be cleaned a bit. So not my favorite method for sure. Spoiler alert, you can just plant all of this right now if you want. If you aren't trying to save the seeds and dry them, just stick that in soil and go. All right, we're on to the last method. This is probably my favorite method. It is by far the easiest. And if you guys know me, I like to do things smart. I don't have a lot of time. I want to do things quick and easy. So let's take a look at this method. It is probably the best one to go with unless you are saving the seeds. You want to cut yourself a thin slice of the dragon fruit, not overly thick, and we're going to remove the skin from it. You can see how easy that skin comes off. This is a nice piece of the dragon fruit without the edging on it, not overly thick. And I'm going to take it now and literally drop it in the soil, cover it up. Voila, that is it. It is done. The downsides to this method are that this seed germination may take a little bit longer to occur than this particular method, mostly because it's got to work its way through the meat of the fruit, and it won't get, like, not every single seed that goes in there is going to germinate, although you will get a very strong germination rate. So I wouldn't worry about it with as many seeds that are in there. You're going to get a ton of tiny cactuses. And then you'll have the additional layer of having to prick out all the cactuses, and they don't hurt. They're very soft cactuses, but you'll have to prick out all the cactuses once they start to germinate to get them into their own pots so you can separate them. As a cactus grows, it'll need a structure to lean on. It grows really tall and then flows out the top. Over time, you'll get little bits that pop out on the sides. You can pluck those guys off to put more energy in growing out the top and getting it to flower, as opposed to putting out a ton of energy to building out a bunch of sprouts on the cactus. You basically want it to grow tall and fountain over. Guys, that is it. That's how you start your own dragon fruit. It's such a simple thing, easy to do, and I love it that you can just go to the grocery store and grab a piece of fruit and start your own fruit farm from it, basically. Honestly, one of these guys could grow you hundreds of these cactuses if you really wanted to. If you're a market seller, you can sell these guys at the farmer's market. I will continue to show you guys how mine progress along the way as they get taller, and then how we build a structure for them as well, because they're going to need some help as they get pretty tall, and hopefully we'll get to see them fruit. All right, you guys, take care, be friendly, be kind.